I have in my hands the brand new Megabass Jamaica Boa. This is the exciting new buzzbait from Megabass that launched earlier this year in Japan at the Osaka show, and we've been super stoked to get our hands on this thing for a few reasons. A, it's Megabass, and we love Megabass, and we know that they're going to take a bait and really elevate it. And B, it's buzzbait. Is there any more exciting way to catch a fish than on a buzzbait? I don't think so. One of my favorite ways to catch them is on one of these dudes. And C, Megabass hasn't had a buzzbait in their core lineup for quite some time. So today, we're gonna do a deep dive into the brand new Jamaica Boa. We're gonna break it down, show you all the new things and fancy special stuff that Megabass has crammed into their buzzbait. We're gonna show you some tips and tricks and some little tweaks that you can do while fishing it, and hopefully give you guys some good info so you can catch more bass on buzzbaits. So let's go. The Hookup Tackle is the world's largest showcase of Megabass products, featuring baits and colors not seen in any other dealer. If you're in the Phoenix area, we'd love to have you come by our showroom and check out for yourself the wonderful world of Megabass. If you shop online, there are almost 10,000 SKUs of different colors and variations of Megabass products alone available for you to purchase. So next time you're looking for that hard to find Megabass lure or that specialty color that your fish have never seen before, check out thehookuptackle.com. All right, so the Jamaica Boa. Now I know what you're thinking. Why Jamaica? Well, a little bit of backstory. Yuki Ito was on vacation in Jamaica and he went for a hike and saw the vipers and the snakes that inhabit the island and fell in love with them and knew instantly when he saw them that he wanted to develop a bait that he could incorporate the shape of the snake's head into, and thus the Jamaica Boa. Now, if you follow me along on Instagram and you saw me in the Osaka show earlier this year, you heard me refer to this as the Jamaica Buzz, which was originally the name that they were going to give to this guy, but it has since changed to Jamaica Boa. Now, as all things Megabass, of course, they have taken a traditional buzzbait and found ways to elevate it so that our fishing experience is much better. Now, the Jamaica Boa is offered in one size, and that's a 1/2 ounce. Okay, now before you all panic and say, oh my God, no 3/8, no quarter. The reason for the 1/2 ounce size is traditionally when you wanted better castability, we went with a heavier buzzbait, right? The downside to a heavier buzzbait has always been that it sinks so fast that it's hard to keep it high in the column and work slow. So if we wanted a slow moving buzzbait, we had to drop down to a 3/8 or even a 1/4 ounce. Well, Megabass set out to create the slowest moving 1/2 ounce buzzbait they could create so that we could get the slow movement of a more traditional 1/4 or 3/8 ounce bait, but still in a 1/2 ounce castability bait so we could make long, beautiful casts, super accurate, and still enjoy a bait that can be worked quickly or slow on the surface. Now, one of the first things that strikes you when you see the Megabass Jamaica Boa is the head design. It's super sexy. Again, it's designed to look like a boa or a snake. Of course, it certainly is striking and catches us with the unique designs and crackle paint, and beautiful design features, but this is a highly functional head fishing-wise as well. You will notice that it has a cupped mouth, and what this cupped mouth does is it helps push the buzzbait up into the surface. So, even though it's a heavier buzzbait, as the water hits that cup design, it helps lift the buzzbait so that you can get beautiful slow speed out of it. The other unique thing about this head is that it's actually weighted in the back. So what that does is that it helps push the weight further back in the bait, so as you cast, the weight is pulling the buzzbait, so you'll get longer, more accurate casts versus the weight all being in the front of the head. Now, the next thing you'll notice that's beautiful on this bait is the new manta prop. Now, this is a new blade that Megabass set out to design. It was actually inspired by stingrays or manta rays in the water. And you'll notice that it is entirely curved. So what that does is it allows the prop to have instant turn in the water. So the startup inertia required to get this blade to spin is much less than a traditional prop that's going to have 90-degree angles or anything that's squared off on it. Not only does it give instant spin so that you can keep the bait high in the column, but it also pulsates, and it pulsates down into the skirt material so that the skirt is pulsating along with the rotation of the blade. So it's truly a unique look in the water and incredibly lifelike for getting extra strikes. Now, Megabass wanted you to be able to put this thing in heavy cover. So they designed it with a super heavy gauge stainless steel wire. This thing is super burly. You cannot really bend or, super flex this thing. So have all the confidence in the world in throwing this thing around heavy cover, heavy line, boat flipping fish. You can do it with this thing. Now, another unique feature with the Jamaica Boa is on the shaft of the wire, and they are calling this a rattle chamber. Now, it's not really much of a chamber, it's more of a glass bead that is tacked on to the wire. Now, this is a dual purpose bead or rattle chamber, and its main purpose is to allow the blade to clack on there and create a loud knocking sound as it retrieves in the water. What that will do is that will help call fish in muddier water or in open water when you need more sound out of the buzzbait. The second purpose, or the dual purpose of this guy, is on cast, it will actually help hold the blade in place. So that's one of the biggest things or challenges with a buzzbait is the castability of these things. So by it holding and locking that blade in place, it allows us to get further distance and more accurate cast without the prop rotating and fighting against us during cast. Now, if you don't want that added sound, because this wire is such heavy gauge, all you need to do is simply just slightly flex it out, and then the blade gets away from the clacker for a totally silent retrieve. So, and again, if you want to go back to clacker, you simply just reflex it and you're back to clacking on that bead. So a lot of versatility. One buzzbait, you can have a clacker or no clacker based on your needs. Megabass also custom developed a cutting point hook. They tested a bunch of different hooks to try to find the right hook that would penetrate easily without tearing the fish, and eventually decided on this concept of hook. It's incredibly strong, very sharp, and totally unique to this bait. Also, getting back to the skirt, it is a hand-tied skirt. And again, it's designed and positioned on the head to where as it goes through the water, it pulses along with the movement of the prop. So you get one unit that's moving lifelike in the water. They also extended a few extra long, thicker strands to the back so that you didn't need to use a trailer. Now, a lot of times we use a soft plastic trailer so that we give the body some bulk or some depth. But because with this buzzbait that is positioned in a certain place and you can work it slowly, these extra strands work great at enticing the fish. So they eliminate the always need for a trailer. Now, that's the Jamaica Boa in a nutshell. I want to show you guys some little tips and tricks that we do. If you want to add a trailer hook, if you want to add a trailer, if you want to slow it down, if you want to deepen it. So let's start altering. We'll throw it around the water. We'll show you what it looks like in some different ways. Now, here's a little alteration that you can make to your Jamaica Boa that may end up getting you a lot more bites. Now, this is how the Jamaica Boa comes. You notice the shaft is straight all the way down to the head. And then here is a quick alteration that we just call a drop head. And you'll notice that it has a little angle down there by the head. What that does is it just lowers the hook in the head in the water about 1/2 inch. The advantage of this is if you are fishing the bait very slow, or you're casting it, you know, right to the bank, for instance, and then pulling it into the water and the fish are striking really quickly. A lot of times they have a tendency to miss the bait because the bait is so high up in the column. So by dropping it and lowering it just a little bit, it provides you just a little bit more hook underneath the water. It also deepens the gap between the hook point and the blade, so as the fish comes up, they have more ability to actually get the hook and get better hook sets. Now this is very easy to do. All you need is a pair of pliers and your Jamaica Boa, and you are simply going to just hold the wire, and you're just going to drop it at that first rivet. Okay, simple. And then you are going to hold the wire, and you are going to bend the head back, and that's it. So now you have the same bait, but you've just lowered the head down so that you can create a slower movement out of the bait, and you've dropped the hook deeper into the water for better hookup ratio. Give that a try. Now what about trailer hooks? Trailer hooks sometimes can give you a big advantage if the fish are short striking the buzzbait. If you're getting a lot of fish that are coming up and they're just kind of swiping and kind of not super aggressive, sometimes just adding a trailer hook off the back will allow you a couple extra hookups. Now I usually start with no trailer hook because if the fish are aggressively getting it, there's plenty of hook there, and I don't want that extra trailer hook back there hooking them in the gills. But if they're just flat missing it and you need some help, this is what I recommend. I recommend doing an open-eyed trailer hook, something like an Owner or a Gamakatsu, and then just using something like a decoy versatile keeper or a silicone gripper. You want the hook to be free swinging on the buzzbait. So what that looks like is we will take the trailer hook and we will go over the eye like this, and you want this hook to be free swinging, not locked in place. And the reason for that is if you do get a short striker on this trailer hook, you don't want them to use the leverage of this buzzbait to help work that hook out. You want them to be able to shake and not have any leverage against yourself so that they stay hooked to the boat. And all you need to do to keep that hook on there is just drop a little silicone keeper or a versatile keeper right on the hook like that, and then that will prevent it from sliding over the barb, but it allows it to stay and have plenty of flexibility. So that's it. If you want to add a little trailer hook, there you go, nice and simple. All right, if you're looking for a great rod and reel to throw your Jamaica Boa or any buzzbait on, let's talk about that really quick. So first off, with the reel, I highly recommend you going with a 7-to-1 gear ratio. The 7-to-1 is like the perfect sweet spot for a buzzbait. It's fast enough to where you can control fish and pick up line when you need it, but it's slow enough that the buzzbait doesn't roll on its side and tilt, right? 6-to-1 could also be great. 8-to-1 is just so fast, it's just so hard to slow down. So the 7-to-1 is just the perfect speed. Something like a Steez A or Metanium or whatever you like in a 7-to-1 is great. For rods, I've been throwing my buzzbaits on the new Megabass Destroyer P5 Mad Bull. Now the reason why I love the Mad Bull is because what I'm looking for in a buzzbait rod is I'm looking for a rod that's got a lot of power. It's got a lot of strength to it, but that it still has some give and bend in the midsection and at the tip. It's very important that the rod has a good amount of load so that when the fish eat the buzzbait, the rod gives just a little bit, just enough, so that the fish can exhale the water after they've swallowed the buzzbait so that the hook is positioned in the right place. Now, if I'm making big, long casts in open water, I might switch to something like the Valkyrie 7.4 or the Destroyer Javelin or the Orochi Extreme Mission Type F, something with a longer length just so I get a little bit extra distance. But all of those rods are very similar in that they're strong yet flexible at the top end that allow for great castability, and also they allow the bass to get the buzzbait positioned properly so that you land more fish after setting the hook. So give those a look. So there you have it, the brand new Jamaica Boa from Megabass. It's available in 8 exciting colors, some with silver blades, some with painted blades. So give them a look at the hookup tackle. Hope this helps. Hope you catch a ton of fish this fall on the brand new buzzbait. Peace.